Hello, my name is Robert Cost, and I'm the principal attorney with General Counsel Online, an online, on-demand legal service offering subscription-based, fixed-price affordability. General Counsel Online produces Lawgorithms, which simplify business decision-making about legal matters. Lawgorithms are designed to help the business person think clearly and logically about everyday legal issues, and by so doing, make better business decisions. This Lawgorithm is designed to help you decide whether to apply for a trademark for your product or service. I'll give you the short version in this video, but if you'd like a more detailed white paper or presentation version, I'll show you how to get it at the end of the video. We have a lot to get through quickly, so let's go. The United States Patent and Trademark Office, which I'll call simply the Trademark Office, defines a trademark as, quote, any word, name, symbol, or device, or any combination used or intended to be used in commerce to identify and distinguish the goods of one manufacturer or seller from goods manufactured or sold by others, and to indicate the source of the goods. That's a mouthful. But in other words, a trademark is a brand name of a product or a service. The question is, when should you register a brand that you created in order to obtain a federal trademark? The first task in answering this question is to determine the business value of the mark to your business. There are basically three possibilities. The first is the value of the trademark in what it connotes to the marketplace. For example, it might signify quality, dependability, low price, success, health, prestige, or other positive associations that you want customers to make between your brand name and your product or service. Second, a trademark can also serve to differentiate and distinguish your product from others, to provide name recognition, and to get you above the noise in the marketplace so that you stand out from all the other similar goods or services. Finally, a trademark is an intangible but nevertheless extremely valuable asset of the business, forming part of the goodwill on the balance sheet. A trademark can be licensed, sold, and hypothecated, that is, sold as a security. You may find one or more of these business values to be compelling, and if so, you should now consider the legal benefits of trademark protection. But if there's no business value, there's no point in going any further. But supposing there is business value, and there likely is, to your brand, the legal benefits of trademark registration include exclusivity. Only you can use the mark in commerce. Notice. This lets would-be infringers know of your ownership of the mark. Priority, making you first in time and generally first in right when it comes to the use of the trademark. And finally, import protection. A trademark owner can invoke the power of the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol to prevent infringing goods from entering the United States. Even if the business and legal value of a federal trademark are unimportant to you, it may nevertheless behoove you to perform a search to determine whether someone else is already using a substantially similar mark. You don't want to be stopped in your tracks as you try to market your product or service and get a nasty cease and desist letter. And that's what the yellow line means. It's worth doing a search before you start using a brand in public. Trademarks protect only goods or services. If the mark is only the name of your business, i.e. your trade name, then it's not eligible for federal trademark protection. Instead, you should seek to register it in your state as a fictitious name, a name used to identify your business if it's different from your corporate or LLC name. To qualify for federal protection, your product or service must first be used in interstate commerce and bear the brand in its offering for sale. For goods, this involves sending the goods across state lines with a mark displayed on the goods or on the packaging for the goods. For services, it involves offering a service to those in another state or rendering a service that affects interstate commerce. For example, restaurants, gas stations, hotels, and the like. Even if your product is not yet in interstate commerce, or perhaps even available to the public, you may nevertheless file for a trademark on an intent-to-use basis, provided that you subsequently actually do offer the good in commerce and prove it to the Trademark Office. Finally, if your product or service is never likely to be in interstate commerce, you can still seek a state trademark protection. In Pennsylvania, a simple filing detailing the mark provides 5 years of protection against others using the mark in state. The next question is whether your mark is sufficiently strong to register. Not all names and symbols are good trademarks, or for that matter, trademarkable. So you'll want to assess the strength and eligibility of your mark. And this has to do with the nature of the word or words you will use as your brand. The strongest trademarks from both a legal and a business and marketing perspective are arbitrary or fanciful. Arbitrary marks are words that are not normally associated with the thing signified. So, for example, Apple for computers, or Gap for clothing, or Google for digital services. Fanciful marks are often neologisms, new words that have never before existed. For example, Xerox, Intel, Exxon, Kleenex, Tylenol, Xanax, they're all neologisms. If your mark is arbitrary or fanciful, you can confidently move to the next step of the analysis and investigate whether it's unique or confusingly similar to another mark. Suggestive marks, such as at a glance for calendars, or nice and easy for hair products, or Ready Whip for foods, can be registered for trademark protection, but their scope may be limited to a narrow classification of goods and services. Next, as the name suggests, descriptive marks portray some attribute of the product. Descriptive marks are generally not registrable without a showing that the mark has, through long use, become a well-known moniker for a product. And this is indicated by the dashed line running from the descriptive diamond in the diagram. If your mark is not arbitrary, fanciful, or suggestive, then it's likely to be unregistrable. If your mark is generic, it's certain to be unregistrable. The word bicycle may be registered as the name of a card deck, but not as the name of a two-wheeled, pedaled transportation vehicle. Nor are surnames trademarkable, absent a showing that they have acquired distinctiveness, such as McDonald's, Ford, or Dell. If we've determined that your mark is a good trademark, we'll next determine which of the 45 classes of goods and services it might belong to. Your trademark rights will apply only to the classes in which you register. So the same name can exist in different categories. Apple for computers can coexist with Apple for hotels or Apple Music. Classification serves to limit both the scope of a given mark's rights and to limit the search relevant to the variations on the word. Next, both the applicant and the Trademark Office will conduct a search of the Federal Trademark Electronic Search System, or TESS, looking for marks with which there is a likelihood of confusion. It is advisable to also search for other databases, including Google and Bing and Internet domain registrars, to determine if there are unregistered but nevertheless temporarily prior uses of similar marks. As the last step before filing for a federal trademark, you and your lawyer should make a determination of the likelihood that your mark will be confused with others, and therefore of the likelihood that your application will be rejected. If you decide to file, it makes sense to do so as soon as practicable, perhaps even filing an intent-to-use application if you've just developed the mark and haven't yet used it in commerce. If, on the other hand, your mark is too similar to another in your class, you may want to avoid the Trademark Office fees and attorney fees and go back to the drawing board with the mark. The actual registration process is really quite simple and done entirely online, except in limited cases. After you've registered, it'll take about 3 months before an examining attorney is assigned to you, and another 2 to 3 months before there is a first office action or response to your filing. Good job for having gotten this far. You are ready to register. I hope this logarithm is useful to you in thinking about your own brands and marks. Please feel free to download a copy at the web address on this video or in the description below. As always, this logarithm should not be construed as legal advice for you. Consult with your attorney before seeking a trademark. Everything turns on the specifics of your business, your mark, and your situation. If you're a Pennsylvania company, we welcome your inquiries at generalcounsel.online. Thank you for your time and attention, and best of luck to you with your brand and your trademark.